I don't know how to start this video, so I'm just gonna start talking and hope that everything works out in the end. Also, I am in my sister Elle's filming studio right now. I'm at her house and I asked her if I could just sit down and film this video again, and she was like, yeah. So I am here, and that will all make sense a little bit later in the video when I kind of get into everything, why I've been spending so much time here. But everything in my life is about to change, and not just in like oh, I'm moving, or oh, I'm doing this. Like, absolutely, I feel like every aspect of my life is about to change, and I wanted to take you guys on that journey with me and explain it. And I feel like I've been doing videos for 10 years, and whenever things go on behind the scenes, or I'm feeling down, or I just don't feel like filming, I will just take a break from YouTube and then come back like nothing happened and say, hey guys, I'm back, like I was busy doing this, blah, blah, blah. But I just want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys and tell you exactly what I've been feeling. This has been the hardest year of my life. I feel like everything was derailed and my life was not going down the path that I expected it to go. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about all of that. I posted on Instagram when I first filmed this video, because obviously I'm refilming it now because that would be futuristic. Okay, so I posted on Instagram and I said that I was filming a life update video and telling you guys about this new chapter in my life, this new journey I'm going on, and I was excited to share it with you. And I got so many guesses. I even said on there that I didn't think a lot of people were gonna guess it. Maybe everyone would, but I didn't think so. And only a few people got it. So first thing I got was, you are engaged. Nope, no ring. I mean, I am wearing 2 rings, but neither of them are any, well, one Ella's in here right now. This is her office. So she had to work today, so she's in here, and I don't typically film with people around me if I'm doing like a sit down video. I'm borrowing her office, and that's what was happening today.
You literally party crashed today.
I did. I crashed her office party. So what we were saying is, no, I'm not getting engaged. The next thing a lot of people guessed was that I was pregnant, and that is even falser than getting engaged. Actually, that would probably be more possible. A lot of people surprisingly thought it had something to do with fitness, or I was opening up a gym or a CrossFit studio, or I was doing something like the Tone It Up girls, because I, this past year, really threw myself into fitness and working out and getting my body healthy. And I posted about that on Instagram. So a lot of people thought it was that. And the last thing that people thought that it just absolutely is not is something that has to do with music. So I'm not doing anything with music, but a lot of you guessed this next one, and it is accurate. So if you watched Elle's rebranding video, or even if you watched any of her Instagram stories or like Vlogmas, Insta Vlogmas, you would know that Elle and Alex and their baby are moving to Nashville. Elle and I are from Tennessee. Our parents live about like 4.5 hours away from Nashville. And so a lot of people said, you are moving to Nashville, because Elle and I are like peanut butter jelly. When I first moved out to LA with my sister, we got an apartment together. Then we moved apartments. We got another apartment together. Then we moved into the same condo building, but we got different units, 2 floors and 2 doors apart. Then we ended up buying houses across the street from each other in the same neighborhood. So a lot of people thought, you are definitely moving to Nashville, when Elle announced that her and Alex decided they were moving to Nashville. And this has been something that has been in the talks for a really long time. It makes sense for them. If you want to know more about Elle and Alex and baby James's plans, then I will leave that video down below. You can click that link. But the reason I am going is not just because I want to follow my sister again across the country, which like I do, but that's not the only reason that I'm going. In September, I went to Nashville to be a bridesmaid, or actually a maid of honor, humble brag, in my best friend's wedding. She lives there. Anne-Marie, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you are very familiar with her. And so she was getting married. I went to Nashville, and Elle and Alex had already been talking about wanting to move to Nashville. And I was there, and this was right in the middle of like my lowest low. So I'll get to that in a minute. But I just felt really good in Nashville. I loved that I was close enough to my family that I could drive and go see them. I loved that my best friend was there and my sister and her husband and baby were going to be there. And a lot of things just felt like they fit in Nashville. Tennessee just feels like home to me, even though Nashville has never been my home. Just Tennessee in general, just like I just breathe a sigh of relief when I'm there. It just feels so much different than other cities. And if you've been to Nashville and you've also been to LA or New York or Chicago or any other like city, you will know that Nashville just has a different vibe and like a different heart to it. And I just love it. So I started talking to Anne Marie in September about it. And the next thing that I'm going to announce to you guys, which is the thing that I didn't think a lot of people would guess. I thought a lot of people would know that I was moving to Nashville as soon as Elle announced it. It was like, duh, Elle's moving, Blair's moving, peas in a pod, you know, peanut butter jelly time. So I thought a lot of people would guess that. But this next thing, which I'm most excited about, I thought some people might guess and some people did, but very few. And that is that I am going to be 26 in April and I am going to be a freshman in college. So I'm really excited. I'm going to Belmont University in Nashville. So I looked at universities all over the entire country, but I knew that if there was one that I really liked in Nashville, that would make sense because my sister and her husband and baby were moving there. And how many times can I say sister, husband, and baby, or like Elle, Alex, and James is in this video? A lot. But I did not do college at the typical age that most people do college, like right after senior year of high school, because I started doing YouTube when I was 15. And by the time I was 17, I was 100% financially stable and supporting myself and had a booming career. After I finished high school, college was always something that I thought about and was in the back of my mind, but I didn't need it right then. And I felt like, and I've talked about this before, but I felt like if I decided to do college and still have this YouTube career on the rise, that I was going to end up half-assing classes and half-assing YouTube to get them both to work in my life, whereas I just wanted to throw myself 100% into YouTube, and I did for years. That was my life. It slowly started becoming something different, and I don't know where that turn was. There's not like a pivotal day that I can pinpoint that changed things for me. I think it was just a lot of things going on in my own life and a lot of things going on in the community on YouTube, and I had a lot of things going on behind the scenes that could be its whole other video that had to do with more of the business side of it that I wasn't really enjoying as much. So at that time in my life, college just wasn't the path that I wanted to go down. Now, my parents are both very education oriented. My dad actually did law school and medical school, and both of them did, you know, like normal college 4-year degrees. And it was something that always was important to them, and they wanted me to experience that, but they understood why that wasn't the path that I needed to take at that point in my life. So fast forward, this past year has been the absolute hardest year of my life. And I've had some hard times before, but all in all, this past year, there was just so much going on that I feel like, okay, I had a preconceived notion or ignorance about what depression was. I thought I had been depressed before when I would have a day where I just wanted to lay in bed and cry and maybe like eat a tub of ice cream and throw chocolates at the TV like Elle Woods and Legally Blonde. I thought that was me like going through a quick depression or something, and maybe it is, but I didn't understand that it's not just sitting there crying in bed and feeling sad, that depression is much more than that. And it has to do with, and I am not like a psychologist or trained in this at all, so like if you're having any sort of like mental things going on, consult your doctor, disclaimer. But in my mind, I learned that having a lack of any passion and having no drive to do anything is a big part of depression. And I had never experienced that before. For the past few years, up until last year, I had been dating a guy that you guys had met on YouTube videos before. He was always pretty private, but he would be in a couple videos. And I genuinely thought that I'd found my person. We were gonna get married. We were gonna have kids. My life was planned out with this man. Like, I knew how my life was going to go. And in June, I was home while Elle was having little baby James. And we ended up breaking up on the phone, over the phone. We had been dating for years. We broke up over the phone, and I have not seen him since, ever. And that was hard. My entire life in that moment and in those days and months after that was weird. It wasn't what I expected it to be. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, and maybe I shouldn't say this, maybe we edit this out, but in my mind, I was kind of working up until the point that I would be able to marry him and be a stay-at-home mom to his kids. I did not think that I needed to have any career-driven goals in mind because I had already been successful in that when I was a little bit younger, which is weird to think, but I do feel like I accomplished a lot. The breakup was not a super emotional, dramatic breakup, and I think that made it harder. I think we both still genuinely loved each other as people, but we didn't want the exact same things in life, and we weren't gonna work out well together in the long run. And I think we had both known it for a while, but it was hard for me to admit it because I had already invested a lot of time into this relationship, and I really did love this person. And I didn't want to admit that it wasn't everything it probably should be. And I have said this in videos before, but I will say it again, and people might think this is weird, but I've always known that I want to be a mom, and I feel, and I've said this to my mom before, and she's like, I get it, but like, it doesn't make sense. I feel like I'm waiting for my life to start. Like, I feel like I'm just going through the motions until I find that person that I'm going to create my own family with. And that's when, like, my life is really going to begin. And that's crazy because these are supposed to be some of the best years of your life. And I have had amazing years. But I don't know why, in my mind, was just like counting down the days till we would like get engaged and my life would truly begin. But it was really hard on me, and it started getting harder the longer it went out, which is really weird because most of the time when I've gone through a breakup, it has been like really sad the first couple days, and then I'm like, on to the next one, bigger and better. By bigger, I mean bigger. But something about this one, I feel like as time was going on, I was realizing those dreams and those plans that I had kind of planned out for myself weren't happening, and it was becoming more real to me. And I had my sister's baby that I was obsessed with, and he was kind of keeping my attention. I ended up staying in Tennessee for, I want to say, almost like a month when he was born, and I just loved on him. And I was going through this big thing in my life, and on top of that, which the breakup alone was very hard on me, I will say that it wasn't even, and this might be really bad to say, but it wasn't even losing that person particularly. It was losing the idea of what my life was going to be. And it was losing the effort that I had already put in to that relationship, and the idea of going on a first date and like describing what I do and like getting dressed up and being so excited for the first date and stuff, that had no appeal to me anymore. I was not interested in that at all. To be honest, I'm still not. Even before the breakup, I was going through a hard time because my dog, Professor Tedward, Teddy Bear, You guys know this. I've talked about this in videos. I did a whole video about this. I have tried to keep you guys updated on Instagram, but I really haven't been on there that much. But I let you guys know that he is in kidney failure. He is dying, and I was told he probably would not make it until Christmas. Well, it is now February, and he is still thriving. Well, he is still surviving. I wouldn't necessarily say he's like thriving completely, but he's not in pain yet. And I've told my vet multiple times, when it is time, I don't want him to suffer. And you're gonna have to tell me, because I'm not gonna be able to just look at him and make that call. Like, I'm gonna have to be told like he's suffering now. Like, I need to hear those words. And we haven't had that yet. There was one night that I took him in and I was told that he needed to stay overnight and he would probably be put down the next morning. And that was really hard for me. And all I could think about in my mind is that I had left my house. I had left my other dog, Mochi, at home. I had left my house with Teddy, and I was going to walk back out into that house and greet Mochi. And he was going to be so confused about not having Teddy there. And I was like, I have to take him home. I have to. Like, if this is his last night, he's sleeping with me. And we had a lot of conversation about what would happen in the middle of the night, what might happen. And I ended up taking him home with me. And that was before Christmas. And I was told the next day, I'm jumping back and forth between days. The next day, he ended up being totally fine. And I was like, WTF, LMFAO. And then fast forward to Christmas, he is still with us, and now he's still with me, and he is going to be making the move to Nashville with me. But he was diagnosed, I want to say around February of last year. So it's been a year now that I've been told he doesn't have long left. And as much as I appreciate knowing, because then I can live every day like it's his last, it's also exhausting because I am spending every single day, and have been for the past year, wanting to make it the best day for Teddy in case it's his last. And he's had some really, really rough days and nights where I thought, like, is he dying right now? I don't know what to do. But that little booger just holds on. Like, he is a very strong 4-pound dog. He's just impressing me. But that has been draining. I talked to my parents and I told them, once I realized that things were getting bad, I told them I need to talk to someone. I am coming to you because things aren't good right now, and I don't know what the purpose of my life is right now, basically. Everything I thought was going to be happening is not. I feel like I'd kind of let my career go because I had this other dream of what was going to happen in my life and this other fantasy world that I was working towards. And I felt like I didn't have anything left. I felt like the best years were behind me, to be honest. I felt like I had peaked in my life, and nothing was going to be as good as what I'd had, because I did have some really good years. And I don't take those for granted at all. And I've told multiple people, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't tell them that. I might die young because I had such good years and I have such a good family that I feel so lucky in that. And I feel like I've already lived a full life. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I died young.
Don't say that, though.
But it's true.
Okay, that stresses me out.
To recap everything that I've been rambling about, I've had a rough year, and I am not trying to say that everything is so hard for me and I don't appreciate the things that I do have. I feel like I'm going to get so many comments about that, and a lot of people are just going to say, like, so many people have it so much worse, and I acknowledge that. I understand that, but that doesn't make what's going on in my mind any easier to handle, if that makes sense. And it's honestly been a really tough year, and I need a change. I'm starting a new chapter in my life, and I don't know what I want to do with my life. And so that's where I went to my parents and I just said, I need help and nothing motivates me. I'm not passionate about anything. I just want my dog to survive and I don't know what I want to do with my life. And I remember my mom saying that a lot of times when people are kind of thrown out into the real world, but they don't know exactly what they want to do or what interests them, they go to college and they take classes, and maybe geology will be really exciting and interesting to me, or maybe I'll be interested in archaeology, or those are like kind of similar, like rocks, right? Is that what archaeology is, Elle? Like digging up fossils and rocks?
Like buildings and stuff.
That's architecture.
No, archaeology. History buildings. Not building buildings. Digging up old buildings.
Digging, though, like fossils.
Yeah,
like
not geology. That's rocks. And fossils.
No, an archaeologist is in Jurassic Park. Google it. Geology is the study of rocks.
Geology is the science that studies the structure of the earth and planets.
Rocks.
Archaeology is the study of the past by excavation and analysis.
Yes! Yeah, and you went to college. So, to be honest with you guys, for the first time ever in my life, I have not known what my future holds. I have not known what I want to do with my life. But for the first time, I'm also finally content and excited to just live my own life and not keep waiting for the next best thing. I've always been waiting for that exciting chapter, to meet the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, then to get engaged, then to have kids and buy a house together, and all of these things that I feel like I've been waiting for to really start enjoying and living my life to the fullest. And for the first time ever, I'm just really happy focusing on me and trying to see where I can go with my life. And if those things fall into it, hopefully they do. I'm not saying I don't want that anymore. I still really want that in the future. But I know that college takes 4 years, sometimes more or less, depending on credit hours. And I'm going to go to the dining hall, not the cafeteria. So I don't know what I'm going to do in the future, what I want to be when I grow up. I feel like I've already had like a big career, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I'm excited and I wanted to share it with you guys because there are some of you that have been there for 10 years with me. And I feel like we've kind of grown up together. And this is a different kind of life change for me, that I am really going to be focusing on something other than YouTube or having my own business. Like, you know what I mean? The things I've done in the past, I am going to actually go see what it's like to put on my big girl britches and my real life britches and not live in this like fantasy YouTuber world. But that doesn't mean that I want to leave this world. I still want to share it with you guys and see where I go in the next 4 years and what I decide to do. But it'll definitely be a little bit different than just my typical beauty videos or whatever I used to do. I don't know. I know I'm rambling, but I do want to say that I'm moving from a 3-bedroom house, which I used every square inch of, into the smallest 1-bedroom apartment I've ever lived. I've actually never lived in a true 1-bedroom apartment in my life. Elle and I always had 2 or 3 bedrooms, and then my condo was 1 bedroom, but it had a separate office area. This is a true 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. I've never lived in a place with 1 bathroom in my life, but I'm doing it because, and this is something that I did want to say, not because I want to address these comments or admit that like they get to me sometimes, but a lot of times when I've been gone on YouTube and I come back and I do a video, I get so many comments like, okay guys, she's poor now, she's back for money. I get that all the time. I do. And
why would they say that?
oh my God, every time I come back from taking a break, it's like, okay, she ran out of money again.
Yeah, little do they know mom is a money stickler. And
I
follows
know.
anyway.
I do want to say that you would never say that to someone in person. You would never go up to someone and be like, "Oh, are you poor now? Do you not have money now? Do you need money?" Like, you don't do that in real life, but there's something about being online that makes it okay to speculate about other people's money issues or lack thereof. The next 4 years, I am going to a private university, which does cost quite a bit of money, and I am downsizing because I have stored away kind of a nest egg for myself. And every time I would make money when I was growing up, my mom and dad were very picky about how I invested it, how I spent it, and I was a big spender. I still spend probably more than I should, but you can't see what people spend and expect that you know their lifestyle and what's going on behind the scenes. I did not spend everything I made, and I built myself a nest egg that would either be a down payment on a new house when I was getting married or be there for when I had a kid so that I didn't really have to worry about it for years. And I am using that nest egg to move to Nashville. So I have 4 years of college tuition, car payment, rent in the one bedroom. I am very, very fortunate to be able to say that. And I would never say that if it wasn't constantly brought up that I am a has-been and she ran out of money and that sort of stuff. If that wasn't going on, I would never say that. But I'm just being honest. I don't need to work for the next 4 years. Do I want to keep making YouTube videos? Yes. I feel like I'm more excited about it than I have been since I started. And I think I'm really excited that Elle's back too, because something changed. We had always done it together. Even if we weren't in each other's videos, we had always done YouTube together. And she took a really long break from YouTube. And it was right around then that I feel like I really I kept trying to get back into it, but it just wasn't what it was. Now that Elle is back doing it again, I feel like we just started our YouTube channels again. I feel like I'm starting everything in my life from scratch. I feel like I did grow up and mature a lot in the past year, and I am just really, really excited for this next chapter. And I want to share it with you guys, not as my full-time job or what I'm doing with my life being just YouTube. So I guess my whole point of talking about this is that I don't need to do YouTube anymore. My life is taking a different path, and who knows what I'm going to be doing in 4 years, but I am going to school to figure that out. I don't need to do YouTube anymore, but I want to, and I'm excited about it. So I am not going to make any channel promises like I'm going to upload every week on this day, or I'm going to do this many vlogs or anything like that, because that's where I tend to fail. So we'll see how college goes with those deadlines. But I am just really excited, and I want you guys to be a part of this, because my life, it feels like I'm not starting over, because I don't want to negate what I've done in my life and erase that, but starting fresh, I guess I would say. So I've sold the majority of my furniture, gone through everything in my house. I am taking only what fits in my one-bedroom apartment. And do I wish I had another bedroom? I do. But I want to be able to just fully focus on school, getting the best grades I can, learning the most, and that is going to be the next 4 years of my life. I hope you guys want to stick around to see it, but I understand if it's not the channel you subscribe to. That's what I'm doing. So to recap everything, I had a really rough year. For the past few years, I haven't really been enjoying YouTube and what I was doing with my life. I was really depressed for the past year and had no motivation or passion to do anything. I still do not know what I want to do with my life and what my purpose is in this world, I guess. My dog is dying. I'm moving to Nashville. I'm going to school, and I'm not poor. For all of those that are going to say that in the comments. And if you go back on my other videos, You will see it. Just go read those comments. So I know this video was long and I was rambly, but I had a lot that I wanted to say and I hope I said it all. I probably am forgetting a lot, but I hope you guys enjoyed it and are excited for the next chapter of my life, because I am. And I think I'm gonna do a moving vlog or a little mini series with it, but I'm not positive. I don't know. Not saying I will, but like keep your eyes on the lookout for it. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. I'm literally shaking. Look at my legs.
Okay, you're just being nuts now.
No.
Do your thumbnail.
Look at my leg. What do I do for the thumbnail?